Bismillah, as you see today, all this terrorist activity, which is a coherent work together between the media on the air and the terrorists in the ground, and both of them, they are evil, the devils, this group all together. They work to defeat human being from the right path. As I said, religion came as a solution to make the society harmony, to make people have good life. So I'm going to show you some materials here. I collect this material over the time. I don't go every time there, but it happens. If it happens, I pass by it, but I don't go there. Just in the past, I used to pass by there. Guess whatever, I collect something from the shelf and take them home to get a proof about an act of financing and supporting terrorism. So the people who is acting in terrorism is a network, is a global network. As I mentioned before, I said start building this network is British, start this creating this in Egypt, then Syria, then Palestine, Syria, then Iran. This network, they call them at that time, is Muslim Brotherhood. So the Muslim Brotherhood from that time have been established by British and was preaching things to serve the interests of British. So that's why you see terrorism is it's 100 years, the era we're living in it, more than 100, almost now 100 years. That's why you see like the crime and these like killing, cutting, and all this, because see this is the logo of this group, Muslim Brotherhood. This is the logo. See how evil people. They put the Quran and they put the sword to kill people. See you see something from symbol. If you are talent, you could look at this thing and you think about what is this mean for 100 years. So 100 years, you can't imagine 100 years, not a couple of years, 100 years. When British start this, then France, then United States adopt this group, then became a huge network around the globe, and they are creating destruction by using the religion of Islam to create destruction, and this help corporation around the globe to go take over wealth while people fighting with each other. Similar like a robbery, create an event where people get busy and he snatched something. That's how corporation, which does with these people, criminals network, they use their religion as a tool for destruction, and every era time they have a different name. So they will not preach in the mosque exactly, but through the mosque they may recruit you to go home with them and become a member, basically based how you are being influenced. So how do you discover them? So you can't, give you example, this book, one of the books. This book is they call it Jihad in the Path of God. This, when the terrorism came to exist, British created and Saudi Arabia has to finance this idea and spread it. This is, think about it, is written and published by the government of Saudi Arabia, the Minister of Information. The book, they say the Jihad in the Path of God. And see what the content, who's inside this book. We have three people. Abu Ala al-Mawdudi, one of the man, which is this one responsible for Pakistan. The Pakistani Jamaat Islamiyya came from this man, Abu Ala al-Mawdudi, the Pakistani group, with Jamaat Islamiyya, which they are in the West country, in British, very strong, in US and so on. You have Hassan al-Banna and Saeed Qutb, those two from Egypt. Those two from this man came to United States like in the 50s, at the beginning of the 50s, and since his he doesn't practice religion at all, but his color skin was dark, looked like Afro-American at that time, and there is discrimination at that time. And he returned back in Egypt very angry in the society, and he started joining Muslim Brotherhood, and he started preaching and calling for jihad in Egypt, calling people disbeliever and so on. This is a man. So as you said, this is the book. The book is a copy picture for the book. It shows that Saudi Arabia is one of these finance the jihadists, Ikhwan Muslim, published this book. These books, I mean, when displayed by Saudi Arabia, is sent to all Muslim countries. This is for native speaker. And this is a picture, actually, somebody in New York, he put this picture. I think he when Saudi Arabia got upset from Muslim Brotherhood, some of Muslim Brotherhood, they start publicizing some pictures against Saudi Arabia, and one of the guy who put this picture, or maybe he has the book with them in New York, and put this picture, and I copied it from the internet. There's a lot of people, Muslim Brotherhood in the United States, can't imagine how many in the United States, they hijack the religion, and because there is no screening for them, because it started in the 50s in the United States, so and government didn't care about that. So this is one thing. Shows proof on how the jihadists what occurred. This is one of the flyers. Well, if you see all these flyers, because I mean, I'm talking about today. I mean, if you were at that time, maybe 10 years or 5 years ago, I could bring it for you from that time ideas about proof. I mean, in each era you find a lot of proof about these people, how they are working as a network in the United States and Europe, same thing. Well, this is also, well, this picture I take it from them, you know, from the mosque. In front of the mosque, one of the people was say like this, and I start reading it. They want cash, you know, donate your cash. They want cash. You see, they want cash, not checks. They donate cash. Read it. The goal they wanted, he said, they want to achieve like $38,000. Okay. And he says something here. It is. I can say something here. Oh, he say, look at this. What he say? Funny. He say they are eating cats. They are eating cats and grass. I don't know if I can read it. They are eating cat and grass. I mean, the people of Syria eating cat and grass. Try to get as much, I mean, emotion in the people, so they give more money for the organization, for this group. This is one of them. Okay. The second one. Actually, the date, there's no date in that one, but all the phones in it. This one has a date on it. It's January 13, 2012. As I said, I don't go those places, but at that time, long time ago, I used to pass by that places. I get this something, I guess to collect something. And this same thing, you see like the picture about, you know, donate for Syria and so on. They try any things to get money. And anytime, even sometimes anything in Africa, they say, oh, in Africa, so give us money, we are so and so on. Yes, same thing. It's publicized this by MCA, Santa Clara in California, which is considered like a center, the center, international center for Muslim Brotherhood. Jihad during Afghanistan used to be like from there you could see daily here the preaching of jihad in Afghanistan in that mosque. So that's why you see I found finally a lot of people, they don't attend the mosque anymore. That mosque is Egyptian, they don't attend that because they don't want to go in conflict with Muslim Brotherhood. I was thinking about how come people, I never see people in the mosque who's against this group. And suddenly in Ramadan, an Egyptian invited me to his home, and I started talking to the people. When people say, well, why can't I see you in the mosque? They say, we don't go because of that group there. We don't go to conflict with this group. So, this one. And also, these two. Okay, it's another one. Okay, also MCA, same thing. I mean, the center, they call it like an international center for Muslim Brotherhood. And actually, it's not the center itself, the people who manage the center. Sometimes they hijack those places, they use it for their own interest. If you are well organized, even if they are minority, you could control something. Majority, they are not organized regardless. And this the same thing, but different. Same date, January 14, 2012. And this is same thing as it says. They use Syria as the exaggerating all kind of stuff to get money. They want $25 per person or $35 at the door. Okay, you see those speakers who they speak always in this time. They sell the paradise. They create emotion in the people and so on. And I used to astonish one of these preacher one time. He was talking about every village in Syria. I said, how he knows if it's a single village in Syria? This man, I mean, must be he was living there or been raised there. He's Palestinian, one of the Palestinians. So sometimes, I mean, people, they act badly because of the way they think. And same thing. Well, I'm bringing you on Syria because this is the era of the last thing. The past was something different. When I was said something different. So in the religion, you see, any cases like violence in the Quran, there is a verse of the Quran, I mean, call people to dialogue. Okay, anyone who rejects the dialogue, then all people collectively has to stand against him. It's irrational. I mean, to solve a problem, you don't solve a problem by fighting, by war. All right, this is another one. Okay. Oh, this is expensive cards, like those cards, expensive. This is Mars. This is and this is another one. This is the latest. Like this is not that long, last year, at the end of last year. So if you see those kind of any posts you see, I mean, to understand clear nowadays, to discuss clear, I mean, anything this time you see something for Syria or something, any people publicize something or distribute something, you know, this is a group, this Muslim Brotherhood is calling for violence in the Middle East. Maybe next day they will create problem in other countries and they start collecting money for so on. Because see, why Muslim Brotherhood? They are doing all this because Muslim Brotherhood, they believe about something, they call it caliph, a man who has to rule the world. That was ISIS. ISIS actually it's named the state of Khilafah. You know, that's what Muslim Brotherhood believe, because they think if the ISIS win, is that defeated Syria, maybe now the time for them to have their own state. From that state, they will start powerful in the world. This is a foolish idea in these people, because I'll tell you one thing. I mean, they fooled another one here. See, one thing is like this. All this. Well, if you are a Muslim, I mean, you want to protect your religion and all this. Try always to be aware always. As I told you, most of the time you might find Arab in 100%. They are the one who behind this stuff, and some Pakistani help them, who they already been organized within the same group. And as it says, two group, Jamaat Islamiyya, Ikhwan Muslimin, they are the same thing and same goal. They have to call it like a king has to rule the world. And that's king from them. That's why each one of them, he dreams about to be that king. I mean, so on. So one thing here about one message they preach over the time. This is nonsense. Okay, nonsense. You see what they say? This group, they say Islam is a deen, a religion, and a government. Islam is the religion and the government. And then this concept, that's why they fight and they try to conquer anybody to do this. Because this. So let me give you an example. Why that's false statement? Because see, the religion is meant to be a guidance for human being to have a good life. It's as an individual in the society. If each human being has he basically has good life, I mean his standards, he's good human being, collectively the society will be beautiful. So that's how the religion is concerned about human being as a human. When he said the religion is a government, okay, and you know the government is a human being, is no longer like a religion. When you say government is a human being action, interaction. Now when a human being fail to achieve something, another state might be not Islam, not religious state, is not God state. Now you claim you are God state and that one is not God state and he's better than you. What you can say is, you can say like God state is bad and non-God state is good. I mean, nonsense. That's why you don't attach a religion to human being. Religion is different than human being. Human being. That's why you see in the Quran, never in mention about paradise as a plural word. It's not like singular word. Jannat. It's plural. Why is more than one? Because people has different rank. I mean, you cannot grade everybody the same. It depends on their work. You can't give them everybody 100%. Give them the same college, the one who work hard to go to the school, so on and so on, and the other one. Impossible. That's why Allah created many Jannat paradise for depend on the you achieve by your what you did, same positions, what you did, not similar people the same place. And that's how religion itself, if someone claim like he has God state and he fail, what the other people can say, well, look at the God state, how is people suffering in God state or people corrupt in God state. So the religion is not a government. The religion is not government. Human being is apply the rules on themselves when they get being convinced about the revelation. So this Muslim Brotherhood, Salafism, Shiism, all these, each one of them thinking about, okay, I'm the God, I'm God deputy, they say in Arabic, wakil, I'm a deputy of God, I'm represent God, I'm going to establish the God rule in the earth. They make you think about this God is just is incapable. I mean, he need these people to do this for him. You know, he can't do it by himself, and that's why they say we are. That's how this most message see when they preach to the public in the Muslim country and ignorant people. They don't know what economy, what government, what system, how this world around you built. He believe them when they say, oh, okay, you know, we are going to establish God kingdom in the earth. And the child who doesn't know anything, uneducated, he never explode whatever around the globe, he believe about that. Coming back to the concept of terrorism and how they fool the people. This one time, and I asked one of these Muslim Brotherhood in MCA, one of these sheikh, and I asked him about, can you think about people in the Middle East? Why we don't have solution for the people in the Middle East? I mean, look at people here in this country, how they are. There is no problem in the job everywhere and so on. And maybe you need to get the idea to them how to create job and so on. I said, talking to him about whatever you could observe, you know, human being observe, learn something. He told me something funny. He said, the people in the Middle East, only Islam work for them, nothing else. See, when he said this statement, some foolish people, they will agree with him. The one who don't understand that has nothing related to religion. That's nothing. Because if Islam, what about China? What about Japan? What about all this country? They are not Muslim country. So, but these foolish people, they fool the people. So what about you? Why you are living in the United States? Why don't go live with them there? I mean, Muslim Brotherhood. That's how. Okay, this is a more important book. Hey, I'll tell you this book. This is the book. This is the good book. I'm not making any like sales for this man. See this book? This is a good book. I don't think you could see it in that one there. It's named The Devil's Game. I recommend every Muslim to buy this book. Even if you don't want to buy a book, you could just buy it by used book. It's not expensive. Buy used book. To protect your religion, to know the history, to know the background of all these terrorists, to know the background, to know how they are doing, to know their history, because you can't solve a problem without studying the history of the problem. You can't. You can't solve a problem without studying the history of the problem, how come to exist. Then you could figure out how to overcome the problem. This book, it says how the he's American, just talking about United States, but I mean, he named it like US, but inside give you the history, all history. How the United States helped unleash fundamentalist Islam. Actually, there is no fundamentalist Islam. Islam clear. There is no fundamentalist, non-fundamentalist. Clear. Is integrity. It's an integrity religion. So the author, Robert Dreyfus. Well, let me give you one thing. I was reading this book sometime. I started thinking about when he came to the matter of Iran. I thought like, well, he might fabricate about Iran when he say Iran helped Muslim Brotherhood. Well, sometimes if you don't read that much information, you just have to doubt it. So and then Ayatollah, what is his name? Ali, something, the foreign minister of Iran, Ali Akbar Walayati. I saw him in Al Mayadeen Arabic TV in an interview with him about his life with foreign minister of Iran. And he spoke about all that. They asked him a question about relation with Jama'at Islamiyah, Ikhwan Muslimin, and so on. And he mentioned, that's from him. Then I started believe about what he says about Iran. I never thought it was correct. I was to think like what he said about Iran, incorrect. And then he said, well, even though they are in England, they used to come to here. We give them, they help them. We give also money. This is Muslim Brotherhood. So even though in the West they get money from the West, they get money from the other country. It's just for money network, money. He says coming back and forth to Iran and so on. Then we start understanding like in Iran they have streets by the name of these like big famous people of this movement. They have names in the street of Iran. You have Hassan Banna, you have Qutb, you have another man, his name, I see him always in the Iranian TV. He's Egyptian. His father ran from Egypt in the 50s to France. Then from France has banking system in Europe and financed the Muslim Brotherhood network. His name Ramadan, and his son, his Tariq Ramadan. I mean, Tariq Ramadan is always, they call him people to come to breach, because same network, same group. I mean, I went one time, I never even know who's Tariq Ramadan. Just I know his father, but I don't know the man. I guess I came there one time. I said to the people, they invite him here, and they introduced him as very famous. I paid for that to enter there to see. And I said, maybe I have to learn from this man. He's famous. These people propaganda make for things. So I go there. So I have to learn something new stuff from there. Then, while I come to my mind, I say, who is this guy? I mean, the name is like his Arabic name. So then I ask the Pakistani to me, say, this man, who is this man? Ramadan, who is Ramadan? Where came from? And he mentioned to me like it is his father, so and so. And then I started to understand this one of the Muslim Brotherhood. So buy this book, read this book. Don't be like lazy. Don't say, oh, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. When somebody comes to speak to you about terrorism, you will be well prepared to speak about the root of terrorism because you can't deny something exists. Foolish when you deny something exists. You have to say it how this came to exist, this network of terrorists around the globe, and this will not end. Today's, I mean, there is no solution from outside unless from inside. A Muslim has to start doing something about it, or do something. So see the book. The book here, the flag of the United States on the hand of the book. That's how when someone say, okay, what is so and so, I say, okay, open the book, the big so and so, and read about it. Even in this book, it shows you about. They give you. This is a historical book, and there is a story about how they give you the name of the woman, the British woman who created all the Gulf states. Is in this book. How she did create this Gulf state, how she play with those foolish people there in that area, and finally divide them into states. So today, everyone has to stand. But as I said, the problem of terrorism is the main core which I'm concerned about. I need speakers. I need people to stand. I need people to gather together. I need people, as I said, mentioned before the beginning of my talk. I said about this. Look, and as I finished my old talk today about how to fight this stuff, exactly how this like statement is saying. It says for evil to flourish, it only requires good men to do nothing. And similar thing, one time Hamza Yusuf said similar to this, say if the Muslim stand up, this will be the majority of Muslims stand up to this people group which is like terrorists and will do acting bad, it will be gone. No one exists. But problem is, you see, like today, people are quiet. I know, like for example, the preachers sometimes they are part of the group of Muslim Brotherhood. I mean, as I said, I mean, a huge network around the globe with all resources. And as I mentioned, don't give money for these named charities. You don't give their names. This is part of the Muslim Brotherhood international organization. Zakat Foundation, one of them is in Chicago. This is not only in US, headquartered in US, but around the globe. This group, I mean, to protect your religion, to break this flame between this group, which Muslim Brotherhood, who they recruit, who they prepare people to be militants, and then the media use whatever this act of the people. They say, look at the Islam, these are the Islam. All right.